That should be enough equipment to start in phase 2. Researching assembly machines will be integral to automating production of these components that are very necessary. If done correctly, this should pose less difficulty than ever before. Especially since problems will be easier to fix, or should be. Iron bus starts here and is 4 wide. Saving belts. A space of 2 between each. It can be stone, copper. They're more distinct. And coal. The 4 primary elements to begin with. Liquids can be here. And so that can be water to begin with. Perhaps overly ambitious for the start of the next phase. And preloading this technology. Now I don't even need to think about it until finishing the rest of these red science, automation science. Then after that I can make assemblers, which can make the components. But before any of that, I should begin design of the main bus and its branching mechanism. Components that branch off of the main bus, the branches, should only go in one direction on one side, and so in this case it should probably be on the right side, and this bus can probably split into 2, going in these 2 directions, a horizontal rail, and the components, the branches, then can be on the top to the left and the bottom to the right, or on the top or bottom of both would probably be better, more consistent. And of course, I will not be manually producing these laboratories anymore because they require too much time. Those should be assembled automatically. finally, I can install those somewhere to start producing probably belts and arms to begin with, but then later more assemblers. And this technology will be necessary for how the bus will work at all to begin with. So making these science packs manually is probably necessary. Routing power to this slightly aggravating because needing to go around the iron. Yes, I already feel the increased sophistication of this technique. I can feel the power surging. Now, to begin with, miners for coal and copper will be necessary for the bus. And of course the lack of a centralized refining for these minerals allows for increased, or should I say decreased, what would that even be called? A very specific problem that has special properties. The available throughput of such a small compact refinement unit refinery would be extremely unreliable, especially as time progresses. Almost have the technology necessary for beginning the structure of how the bus works, fundamentally. Need more drills. Stone will be more difficult to reach. I think I'll be keeping these personal refineries for now, just so that I can have the materials necessary to produce by hand, which itself is a bad idea in almost every situation except for the one in which you don't even have the technology to do anything else yet. Which is quite rare. And it's good that it is, because if it wasn't, there would be much greater problems. Yes, now all of these three are in place, ready to be made into anything, and stone will be prepared later when we need it. Water is not yet a priority either. Those will be backlogged. Now the first things to be produced will need to be for personal use, things like belts and arms, things that will be necessary for expanding what we already have. And this science, that's a problem. I miscalculated. So the fluid bus should probably be pre-planned. What are the fundamental fluids? Water and crude oil. Should I keep it that raw, though? Is the question. No. The answer is no, because then I would need to have byproducts like petroleum, light oil, and heavy oil be taken from places that don't need them. So those should actually be considered the fundamental ones. The crude oil should not. And so. Yes, I think to begin with that should be one of the only ones we do that with. And so that's 5 liquids. Or perhaps only 4. And now finally we have the technology to have branches. And the first of these will be for belts. And it will require coal and iron. And now these should be prepared finally. These can now combine into a single stream and be processed with these